Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and today I'm going to be doing a tag video. I'm super excited. I've been tagged in a few videos lately that I haven't been able to get around to, so I'm really excited that I was able to film this one today. So today I'm going to be doing the 2026 Booktuber Name Tag. This tag was created by Aaron Read a Book. He does this video every year with a different set of booktubers. So basically it's a list of booktubers that he compiles and then creates prompts based off of their channel names. They're always really fun to watch. I've never participated before, but I'm really excited this year to check it out. And it's always such a fun way as well to discover new channels that might not be on your radar. And Aaron always picks such a great selection of channels that are between like little tiny channels and bigger channels as well. So I absolutely love it. And I was tagged in this tag by Book Chat with Pat. I really appreciate Pat. First of all, thank you. I love Pat's channel and I appreciate that she's always engaging with and promoting smaller and newer booktube channels. I think it's really nice, especially with tag videos. Sometimes bigger channels will just say everyone who's interested can do it, and it's so true, but I also really appreciate there's something special about being tagged in a booktube video, and I think that feeling of inclusion and community that comes when you get tagged in something, it's really nice. So I appreciate that Pat does that, not just for me, but for tons of newer and smaller channels. And it's also a great way for me to discover new booktubers as well, because I'm always looking at who Pat tags in her videos too. So that's my little ramble. Thank you to Pat, and I will dive right in. So I also have my little notebook. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. The first channel is Violette's book Daze. The prompt for this one is a book that left you in a daze or that takes place over a few days. So the book I picked for this actually I think fits both prompts, and that's Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This follows the life of Clarissa Dalloway over one day in her life. This is such a bizarre, weird read. I really enjoyed reading this, but there's nothing that anyone can say that can prepare you for reading Mrs. Dalloway. It's so unique. It's such a fever dream of a book. So it definitely did leave me in a daze. I enjoyed it, and it takes place over one day. And this is a beautiful copy. It actually has the hours on the other side as well by Michael Cunningham. Yeah. So yeah, really pretty and takes place over one day. The next one is Sailing Through Books, a book with boats or sailing in it. I'm going to talk about this one very briefly because I've talked about it like 3 times on my channel already, but this is The Boys in the Boat, and this is by Daniel James Brown. This is about 9 American rowers and their journey to the 1936 Berlin Olympics. This was amazing. Rowing is not something that I ever really deeply cared about, but this book was so enthralling. It was one of my top reads of 2025, so I highly recommend The Boys in the Boat. And obviously, lots of boat. The third one is The Reading Hour, a short, fast read you can finish in one sitting. I chose A Psalm for the Wild-Built. This follows a tea monk in a future society where there were robots that were very integrated in society. And one day all of these robots had a sort of awakening, and they just got up and left and walked into the forest, and the humans promised never to disturb them. But the robots made a promise that in X amount of years, I think it was 100 or 1,000 years, that they would return and check in on the humans and see how they're doing. And we follow the robot who comes in to check in on society and runs into our tea monk. So this also takes place over just a few days, and it's very beautiful, very well done. I'm really looking forward to reading the second one in this series, and it's just a very fun, quick read. It's very powerful, but in a light, kind of warm way, as opposed to something that's a little bit heavier. So you could definitely read this in one sitting. It's a skinny little book. The next one is Books Do Things to Me, and the prompt for this one is books that hit you hard emotionally. The first book that came to mind is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I'll put a picture here. I lent my girlfriend my copy of this one. But Michelle Zauner is the lead singer in the band Japanese Breakfast, which they make great music. You should check out Japanese Breakfast. But Crying in H Mart is about her experiences of love and losing her mother. And this made me feel such deep, powerful grief. I think anyone that has any tenuous relationship with their mother, anyone that has lost their mother, like it just brings such profound feelings of grief. It's so beautifully well written. She talks a lot about her and her mother's relationship and how it was built through food and their love of Korean food and going to H Mart, and how she memorializes and remembers her mother through food. Such a beautiful book. It made me feel deep grief though. So I highly recommend it though. The next channel is A Genteel Black Hole, a book that pulled you into a subject. So I just finished reading for the Booktube Prize. Again, I'll put a photo up here. Jesus Wept, 7 Popes in the Battle for the Soul of the Catholic Church by Philip, I think it's Shenan. I can't really say much about this because I'm reading it for the 2026 Booktube Prize, and we're not supposed to speak about our picks until the prize is all finished judging. So my lips are sealed right now, but I can say that it was a topic that I wasn't necessarily super interested in, that I wouldn't have picked up, and now I'm hyper interested in, and I'm looking in other books to discover more about the subject. So that's all I can say on that one. The next is my friend Mike's channel at RiffRaff's Reading Renaissance, a book with a character from the lower social classes, or RiffRaff, or something that's set in the Renaissance period. This prompt made me realize I don't think I've read much fiction or nonfiction from the Renaissance period, so that's something that I'll have to do because it is a time period that I'm interested in. Leave recommendations down below if you have any. But the book that I picked, again, I loaned this one out to a friend. A lot of my good books, especially good nonfiction, I loan it out and then it doesn't come back to you for some time. So anyway, my book is The Five by Hallie Rubenfold, and this is a story that's about the 5 women that were murdered by Jack the Ripper, and it talks very briefly about their murder and about Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is really a background character in this story, and it focuses on the day-to-day lives and experiences of the 5 women that were his victims. So it's very interesting, and most, if not all, of those 5 women were from the lower social class. So very interesting read, very engrossing. The next book is Sterling Reads, a book with a silver or shiny cover. So I picked Emily St. John Mandel is her name, Sea of Tranquility. Emily St. John Mandel is one of my favorite Canadian authors. I love all of her work. I've read almost all of it. And this cover, or this edition, is so pretty. I don't know if it's really gonna get picked up on camera, but it's got this really pretty kind of like shimmery, silvery sheen to it that you can kind of see in the light. It's really pretty. I love this edition of Sea of Tranquility. Such a good read. Okay, now I have to find my place. The next prompt is Big Hard Books and Classics. A favorite classic or hardback, bonus points if you do both. I picked The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Again, I won't touch on this too much because I've talked about it twice on my channel already, but this edition I just love. It's a hardback edition, and it was a gift from my brother, a Christmas gift, so I love that about it. And also I just adore The Bell Jar. I won't ramble on too much about it, but that's my edition. I was tempted to pick one of my painted editions that I have, but I feel like I've talked about those enough as well. Alrighty. The next prompt is The Book Thing, a book with the title The Blank Blank. So I actually, at first I thought I wasn't sure if I was going to have any books with The Blank Blank, and I had tons of books with The Blank Blank, including The Bell Jar, but I decided to pick The Bass Rock by Evie Wyld. This is a great book. It follows 3 women and their interconnected lives. It's a very dark, very gothic read that I really enjoyed. This was a 5-star read for me, I think in 2024. And then the last prompt is a bonus prompt to come up with a prompt that matches your Booktube name, or a prompt that matches a channel name of someone that you really enjoy watching. I tried to do a channel that I enjoy watching, but I'm not very creative. I couldn't come up with any good prompts that match some of my favorite channels. So I just decided to do one for my channel because it's much easier. My channel is The Literary Latte. So my prompt is a book that has to do with tea, coffee, cozy drinks. And so I picked Cozy, The British Art of Comfort by Laura Weir. I thought this would be kind of a fun little niche pick. This was a book that was given to me by my boss. She always picks books out at Christmas time. And so she picked this book out for me. And it's kind of like this author's take on, I never know how to say this, hygge? I think it's hygge, like that cozy, warm tea. Someone's gonna know how to say it in the comments, but this is kind of like the British take on that. And it's fun, like it's just a light little read, like with recipes and anecdotes and stories and things like that. But what I really love about this book is there's so many beautiful little sketches that are all throughout. And so it's broken up into different sections. So the first section is literally tea, cozy state of mind, cozy outdoors, cozy films, cozy crafting, but there's a lot of really cute sketches. I've been thinking about ways that I could repurpose this book because I haven't really come back to read it over and over again. I don't know if I will, but I love the sketches. So I'm thinking of ways that I could incorporate these sketches into my home somehow. But yes, this book does mention lots of tea and coffee, and there are really pretty tea and coffee sketches as well. So this is a great little read. I don't know if I would recommend, like, if you need to go out and buy it right away, but if you had a copy of this at your local library or thrift store, I highly recommend picking it up because it's worth a quick little flip through. So those are my answers to the prompts. Thank you so much for watching this quick little tag, and I'm going to tag a few people as well down below that I would love to see answer these questions. Thanks everyone, and I will see you in the next one.